Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another speed build. Once again, I'm working on a base game mansion. So I really enjoyed working on my last base game build and you guys really seemed to enjoy it. So I figured it would be time for another base game build. So of course, I didn't use any packs for this. This build is also CC free. I used the tool mod to create the round shape at the top where I placed the windows in a round shape. But if you download this lot from the gallery, you don't need the mod, so this is completely unmodded in the gallery, but when you place the lot, the shape is still correct, so you still have the round window shape. I just wanted to quickly mention this in case you are wondering about this, and you will see how I'm building this in the speed build. So base game builds are always a lot of fun, especially modern ones. I don't really enjoy working on traditional base game builds, or not as much. I mean, I still like it, but I really love to work on modern base game builds. But soon it's probably time for a traditional one as well, because there have been a lot of modern builds recently. So I built just a really huge mansion as you can tell, and I used a couple of tricks. I used the angled windows facade, just some slanted windows. I also built a glass pool or infinity pool. I incorporated a couple of round shapes, so I used a couple of fun tricks that I've already shown you guys in my tutorials. I'm going to link my tutorial playlist down below, so if you want to learn more about the windows and the round shapes and the pool, you're going to find all my tutorials in this playlist. But of course, I'm also going to talk about these methods in this video. As you just saw, I started off in the front. All I knew in the beginning was that I would like to incorporate the glass pool into this build. So in case you haven't noticed yet, this foundation, it's a translucent foundation, was originally only part of City Living, but a while ago in a patch, this foundation was added to the base game, which is super amazing. And at first I didn't even notice until someone pointed that out. So I figured it would be time to incorporate this amazing glass pool into a base game build. So the foundation is just translucent, so you can apply it to any foundation, but then it looks weird because the bottom, there's basically a hole in the bottom of the terrain, and it's just super freaky. I can't even describe it. But when you use a pool and you just apply the pool to the foundation, then you have an amazing glass pool. So this is what I did. And here you can see how I'm working on the slanted windows. At first I just wanted to use some regular windows, as you can see on the left side. I'm also going to get rid of them, but then I thought it would be fun to use this method that I've already shown you guys in a tutorial. So you basically just use a roof and you make it as slim as possible, so it's only one tile wide, and then you expand the eaves, you apply a glass roof pattern, and then you can create some fun slanted windows. It looks really cool. There's just one problem with these windows, one thing that you have to keep in mind if you're using this method yourself. If you want to check out the tutorial, you can do that, as I said, but you have to keep one thing in mind. If you're using these windows, the lighting on the inside is completely off, so you basically have outdoor light on the inside. You know, when a room is not fully closed and the light is all weird, this is what's happening if you're using these windows. So what I did here was I simply placed a wall right behind these windows, so it's sectioned off of the rest of the house. It's separated. This is basically just a sunroom, so you can hang out in these rooms and enjoy the outdoors on the inside basically. So I sectioned this off, so this way I made sure that not the whole interior is affected by this issue, because this wouldn't look good. I really enjoyed work with open floor plans, so let's say I wouldn't have separated this area from the rest of the whole floor, then the kitchen, the dining room area, the living room, all these areas would have been affected by this. So when I use this method, I really make sure that this is just one room that has this window. It looks amazing from the inside and from the outside, and when you use this for a sunroom, for example, then it's a really good look. But I wouldn't advise to use this for regular rooms, for a living room, for example, unless you don't care about this. I know that many people are bothered by this and don't like this, and then just section it off, just place a wall, use it as a sunroom. But if you don't mind it, then it's not a problem, because some people probably aren't that bothered by that. I just wanted to give you guys this small disclaimer in case you are wondering about this. To have another eye catcher, I placed 3 round roofs on the right side. As you can see here, I used a regular round roof. I applied a roof trim. I made it as low as possible and applied a glass roof pattern, and this way the sun is shining through the ceiling, which looks amazing. And I used 3 different sizes, so this is a really fun look. I don't know, it almost looks futuristic and at the same time like something that you would see in a mid-century home. It looks really fun, and I had no idea what to place up there. I didn't want this to be another balcony or patio area, not another outer area where Sims can sit, because there are already plenty of them in this build, especially because of the slanted windows. As I mentioned earlier, these are just sunrooms, so I figured it would be fun to place a couple of round windows on this area. Also, surprisingly, for this build I didn't use the terrain tools at all. I just worked with foundations, and this way I created multiple levels, which makes this build more interesting in my opinion. So you can connect different foundation heights by just using some stairs. There are also some gaps in between the different foundation heights, and what I did was I used the base game shelf, the white one that was added to the game a while ago, and I just placed the shelf in these gaps to just hide them. You can of course also leave them open, but this is another fun trick to hide the gap between different foundation heights, because as soon as you work with different foundation heights, there's always at least one tile in between them, unfortunately. Let's hope that this will be fixed at some point so we can just place them next to each other so we can have some proper split level homes, but this is just a little trick to make it look better. And here you just saw how I used the tool mod to create the round shape at the top. I mean, basically I just used a round foundation, which you can do without using any mods. You just use 4 different foundation pieces and then you can create a perfect circular shape. But I also wanted to place some base game windows in a round shape. So for this I used the tool mod, and I'm going to say it again, you don't need the mod for this. You can download this from the gallery. It's unmodded, even though I used the mod. Otherwise, I wouldn't use this mod because my builds are CC free. It's unmodded and CC free in the gallery, because in case you want to use my builds, I want you guys to be able to download them from the gallery. So I just used this mod to create this round shape. It's just another little eye catcher. And here I'm using a base game nightstand to create some round shapes. I've used this object a lot in this build, so in case you are not new here, you know that I'm a big fan of the Get Famous Pristine Pedestal, which is just a white cube. It's a surface, and I really like to use this object for my modern builds. It's just amazing. I've even created some round roofs with this object. So this is a base game build, and this here is a great alternative to this object. I can totally recommend it if you want to create these shapes. I've also used it to hide the foundation. I just wanted this build to look very unique and intricate, so I wanted to incorporate many details. So this is what I did. I just placed the nightstand in front of the foundation, and then I also wanted to create some round shapes. I just realized how many different methods or tricks I used in this build. There's a round roof, I used the tool mod, then we have the slanted windows, we have some round shapes using the base game nightstand and the glass pool. There are just so many different things combined in one build. I just realized that. In case you're wondering why I placed a rock there, there's a round base game rock, which is just a guideline for me in this case. So it's a perfectly circular shape, so you can just place it, you can size it up or down, and then when you want to create a custom round shape, you can just follow the round shape, and then after you are done building your round shape, you just get rid of the rock and you are left with your perfect round shape. On this case, it's just a half circle. I just wanted to have another eye catcher in the front, and later on I'm going to use the pool tool to just add a pool to this area, so it looks like a round pool, but I just created the round shape the way I did, the way that you just saw, and then I just used the pool to fill in the area. You just have to make sure that the pool, the edge of the pool is not kind of peeking out underneath the nightstand, so you have to find the correct position, but this way you can create some round pools. And I can also recommend, as I said, to use the Get Famous Pristine pedestal for this. So what you do if you want to build this yourself, you make sure that you have activated the Sims 3 camera. You can change between the Sims 4 and Sims 3 camera in the top right hand corner, and then you just hold down Alt on your keyboard, you hold down your left mouse button, and then you move your mouse. I've also made a tutorial about this, but this is just a quick explanation and it's really simple, so you can figure this out yourself if you want to, but if you need more of a in-depth explanation, you can also look up that tutorial. This house is not as big as it looks, and I know that this is kind of a running joke on this channel because whenever I say that a build is not that big, many people think it's huge, but this build only has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and the inside isn't really that spacious at all. As you can see here I'm starting to work on the interior, so there's a lot of space behind the house, and the end of the video I'm going to work on the garden, just a really simple garden with just a patio, and then there is a pool, just really basic. And the floor plan is kind of fun, so when the Sims enter the house, there are stairs leading down, so the Sims enter the house on the main floor, but then when they walk down there is the area with the bedrooms and the bathrooms. So this is kind of fun. I really like the floor plan. Usually on the top floor I include the bedrooms and all that, but here it's kind of the other way around. And so there are the stairs where you enter the house, and behind this area, behind the stairs, I built the kitchen. I used this industrial looking counters for this build because I rarely use these counters. And I really wanted this interior to look very different from my last base game build, because once again it's a modern build and it's really easy to kind of replicate your own interior designs, in my opinion, because it's kind of difficult to furnish with only the base game. As I've said before, it's always a struggle, which is also fun because I really enjoy the challenge, but I really wanted this to look different from my latest build, so I decided to use these industrial counters. And once again, though, there is a lot of white going on, a harsh contrast between the wall color and the furniture. I really like to do that. It still looks a bit warm because of the wall color. It's like a brownish gray. I think it looks amazing. I kind of struggled with building the living room because I noticed that I have to incorporate a TV somewhere, and I didn't do that at first, so then I remodeled that a little bit, and this here is one of the sunrooms that I mentioned earlier. I also included a barbecue grill, so your Sims could have a barbecue there if they would like to. Of course, I also included an office. There was a lot of space on that floor still, even though it's not as big as some of my other builds, but there was still some space left. I didn't include a bathroom on this floor, but there are 2 bathrooms on the other floor, so the Sims have to walk down. But this house is really not crazy big, so they don't really have to walk a long distance. And here, which I think looks super cool, I just used the area behind the slanted window as some type of little garden. I placed a couple of flowers there, and the very super pink looking bush is actually a debug object. I used a couple of debug objects in this build. I really like to do that, but especially for a base game build, it's a lot of fun. You can create some unique things with these objects because there are just so many possibilities. We got the environment objects a while ago, and I can totally recommend checking the debug section out. It's just a lot of fun. I included 2 kids rooms. One is pink, one is blue. I just wanted to cover the very basic kids room colors here, and they look very colorful. And once again, not that easy to furnish with only base game. I think it's much easier to work on the exterior than interior, but I tried to make it work. I really love these cute pictures with the dinosaurs and all that. Even when I'm working on a build with all the packs, I always like to include them. I think every builder has some objects that they always include, or almost always, and this is what I always do with these cute little pictures. I don't know, I just love to use them for the kids' rooms because they are so colorful and happy, and they come in different colors and versions. It's amazing. And here I'm finally working on the garden. As I said earlier, the garden is pretty basic. I just wanted to include a patio and an area where Sims can hang out in the sun. I really wanted this garden to look very clean and modern, so I just built a pool, and there is definitely a lot of space to add more stuff. I just placed a lot of trees, so in case you download this lot, if you are playing with some packs, for example, with seasons, for example, you could totally place a swing set there. There would also be some space for monkey bars or planting pots, depending on what you would like to add to your garden. And this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, you can find this build in the gallery. You can find all the information down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a perfect day, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.